In this morning's Business Insight, a marriage between business and the arts. Sounds like the makings of an opposites attract story, but the two have more in common than you might think. The Business Courier is proud to announce the launch of weekly coverage called Arts Front. The plan is to share stories about the major institutions bringing world-class performances and exhibitions to our city and explain how the arts attract talent, revitalize our neighborhoods, and fuel our sense of connectivity. ArtsWave has agreed to sponsor the expanded digital coverage with support from the Carol Ann and Ralph V. Hale Jr. U.S. Bank Foundation. With more on what the Business Courier is doing and why, Alicia Kintner, President and CEO of ArtsWave, is joined by editor Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio. Alicia and Rob.
Thanks, Kelly. Alicia, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
And thanks, obviously, for all your help in letting us get started on this. For those of us who have spent most of our lives in Cincinnati, I think it's very easy to forget how big the arts are here. You are not from Cincinnati. You've been here for a while now, but I think you have a better perspective. Maybe you can tell the viewers, give us some perspective on Cincinnati's arts scene.
There's a lot to be proud of here. We have one of the country's only full-time professional orchestras. There are just about a dozen in the country that are full-time professional, continuously operating orchestras in the Cincinnati Symphony and Pops. We have one of the country's oldest opera companies. We have professional ballet. We have an incredible collection at the Cincinnati Art Museum, the Taft Museum, and a continuous schedule of exciting contemporary art at the CAC. Plus, we have one of the country's largest networks of community theaters. So there are just, you know, average Joes who are participating in the arts. It's fabulous.
Yes, and it's been amazing just in the couple months that we've been trying to put this together, just how much is going on. It's going to be quite a challenge for us, I think, to figure out the best way to cover this and feel like we're doing justice to the whole thing. But maybe you can talk to us a little bit about what ArtsWave is for people who aren't aware of that name. It's not a name that's been around forever, but it sort of represents something that's been around.
Sure. Our organization is the planner, promoter, and fundraiser for the arts in Greater Cincinnati, and we have been around a long time. We had another name until 2010, so we were known as the Fine Arts Fund for a long time. This year is the 69th annual ArtsWave Community Campaign, and that's one of the oldest and longest running united fundraising efforts for the arts, and tens of thousands of Greater Cincinnatians contribute through ArtsWave to support this incredible collection of arts assets that we have here.
So, talking about the Business Courier or any media outlet that decides to cover the arts as we're talking about it here, how important is coverage? How important is it for, I mean, people do art for art's sake, right? But how important is the second half of that?
Well, it's really important that the arts are talked about in our media as vitally important to our economy and our connections as people in the community. So ArtsWave is really interested in how the Business Courier is going to tell the story of the impact of the arts.
Right.
How do we drive talent attraction and help with talent retention, which are business imperatives? How do we help through the arts people understand one another better? And how do we enliven our neighborhoods and make them places that we're attached to and passionate about and proud of? And how do we inspire all kids to be productive citizens and prepared for a very future kind of workforce? The arts are doing all these things. So in addition to the great art on stage or in a gallery, whether or not you personally participate, the arts have a significant impact here, and those are the stories that I hope we'll be telling. Yeah,
and we definitely will. I think that's exactly right. That's really what we want to do, is put them into a bigger context about how much of a fabric and a part of the fabric and fiber they are. What are kids these days as interested in getting into the arts as they were 20, 30 years ago? You mentioned kids before and trying to get them into it.
Sure. Well, I think that yes, many kids are inspired by artists or musicians that they follow and want to be engaged. But I think there's also a role for the arts to play in helping teach other subjects in the curriculum.
Right.
So the Cincinnati Shakespeare Company, for instance, has a tremendous track record of success going into classrooms at the high school level and bringing Shakespeare to life. You know, Shakespeare wasn't meant to be read, it was meant to be experienced in a live theatrical setting, and they can increase comprehension and literacy through being involved in classrooms.
Right. Well, hey, thank you so much for being here. Thank you absolutely for the support you're giving us in launching this coverage, and we hope to have you back soon.
Thanks.
All right. Back to you.